Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Isfunahela Iya. I am a third semester English study program STKP Al Maksum Langkat. Here I will analyze the video about the mouse and the frog. And next to me, I explain the context of the story of the mouse and the frog. Let's watch the following video together.
Once upon a time, a mouse and a frog were close friends. The frog often visited the mouse at his home, and they both shared the food and provisions the mouse had stocked in abundance. One day, the frog invited the mouse to his house. The poor mouse didn't know how to swim. The frog told him that he would make the mouse sit on his back. The mouse immediately agreed. Halfway across the steam, the frog started to get wicked thoughts of eating the mouse. So, the wicked frog dived for the bottom of the stream. The mouse, realizing too late the betrayal of the frog, started to cry for help. A hawk flying above the stream saw the scene and swooped down upon the mouse. The hawk picked him up with its beak and started to fly high into the sky. The frog tied to the mouse was also taken away. The frog realized his mistake. In his greed to get more food, he had not only his good friend, but also put his own life into danger.
The main message of the context is the mouse and the frog. It's a fable that tells the story of the friendship between a mouse and the frog, and the moral lessons that can be drawn from their experience. Story purpose. First, entertaining readers. This story asks animals characters to tell an interesting and entertaining story. Second, teaching moral values. Through the interaction between a mouse and the frog, this story aims to convey a moral lesson that can be taken by readers, especially children. Story message. First, consequence of betrayal. This story shows that betrayal can lead to serious consequences. The frog who defeated the mouse also suffered a bad fate. Second, the importance of choosing friends wisely. This story reminds us to be careful in choosing friends and judging the character and intention of others. Greed and distrust. Greed can lead to harm to oneself, as experienced by the frog when Hess was caught by the eagle after trying to disface the mouse. Overall, the mouse and the frog teach us that our actions have consequences, but for ourselves and for others, and that it is important to be honest and trustworthy in social relationship. The target audience is once upon a time there was a mouse who was good friends with a frog. The frog often visits the mouse's house and invites him to come to his house. However, the mouse was afraid because the frog's house was across the river and he could not swim. The frog offered to take the mouse across by tying the mouse to his back using a blade of grass. The mouse agreed and they set off. However, in the middle of the journey, the frog and evil intention to drown the mouse so that he could take the food that the mouse had. As the frog tried to drown the mouse, an eagle flying overhead saw the inside. The eagle saved the mouse by plucking it with its talons and indirectly took the frog with it. This story teaches us that distrust and greed can lead to disaster not only for the person who is betrayed but also for the betrayer himself. In addition, this story reminds us to be more careful in choosing friends and assessing other people's intention before trusting them. Finally, the frog realized his mistake because his greed had undergraded himself. Technicus yes. Discuss technicus like one sound events, language style, or visual cues. The supporting techniques in the story are: first, dialogue. The dialogue between the mouse and the frog shows the frog's dissatisfaction with their situation as well as the pain he feels because the mouse never visits his house. This is given the punch to the characters and shows the emotional conflict that exists. Characterization: the characters of the mouse and the frog are clearly demonstrated. The mouse is depicted as naive and trusting, while the frog shows evil and greedy starts. This characterization helps the reader understand the dynamics of their relationship and underlines the theme of trust. Conflict: there is conflict between the naive mouse and the cunning frog, which is the core of the story. It shows how trust can be exploited by others. Moral of the story: the moral at the end of the story teaches that those who seek to harm others will often suffer the consequence of their own action, emphasizing the importance of honesty and caution. Visual description: description of the event moment, such as the ponds where the frog's life helps creates a vivid mental picture for the reader. Symbolism: the river that the rat has to cross can be seen as a symbol of challenge or risking in relationship. When the rat entrusts its life to the frog, it reflects how we often entrust ourselves to others despite the risks. First, evaluate whether the message is effectively divided to the audience. The message in the story, the mouse and the frog, is effectively delivered to the audience. The story contains a clear moral about trust, loyalty, and the consequence of evil action. Evidence and example from the story of the mouse and the frog. Help to cross a river, the frog takes the mouse to his back and promises to carry himself. However, on the way, the frog plans to drown the mouse so that he can get the food stored by the mouse. As the frog tries to drown the mouse, an eagle sees the incident and saves the mouse, but also captures the dead frog. The story, The Mouse and the Frog, is effective in conveying a moral message about trust and the consequence of betrayal. Throughout the characters and events in the story, readers can understand the importance of honesty and the negative impacts of evil intention. Okay, that's all for my analysis video in today. Okay, thank you.